Hi, I'm Ray Arcade. Welcome to my channel. The last time we were at the Jersey Shore, Ronnie and Sammy were accusing everyone of being jealous of their relationship. Pauly had a new summer love interest, and Jenny had punched Mike in the face. What will happen next? Take my hand as we find out on this Jersey Shore retrospective. Episode 8 is called One Shot, and it premiered on January 14th, 2010. We open back in the hotel after Jenny hit Mike, and she's still trying to get some licks in. But eventually, the gang goes to sleep, and they leave in the morning. Back at the shore house, Mike is talking shit about Vinny, and there seems to be some big beef between them. That night, Pauly is supposed to hang out with Danielle the Israeli, but he bails on her to hang out with some girls that Vinny knows. The thing is, this seems like one of those production-picked dates. So the show wasn't scripted, but in the early days, they wanted to make sure they could get liability waivers and all that stuff signed before the cast interacted with anybody. So they would go scout girls out at the mall or on the boardwalk and have them sign these waivers and invite them out to a club or on a date later, kind of encourage them to talk to the cast. They didn't force them to go out on dates or anything like that, but they kind of engineered it a little bit. In the beginning, later on in the seasons, girls were just throwing themselves at the boys, so this wasn't as big of an issue. But this scene feels like one of those kind of set up, manufactured date scenes. Regardless, Pauly's out with 3 girls and Vinny on the boardwalk, and Danielle shows up.
What a coincidence, Danielle, she's there.
Pauly's girl Danielle comes like out of nowhere. So I'm seeing this and I'm like kind of giggling to myself. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's so awkward.
So here is some tea. 2 years ago, Danielle's NDA, her non-disclosure agreement, lapsed so she could talk about the show. Now, she has her own very unique side of the story. Danielle is known as the Stalker, the season 1 Stalker, and she rears her ugly head again in season 3. And she's the Stalker, Danielle the Stalker. So, according to her, she didn't just appear out of nowhere during this scene on the boardwalk to give Pauly shit while he's out on a date with 3 other girls. She said that she worked on the boardwalk. She happened to be leaving work while he was out there filming with the crew. Apparently, there were security guards around them all the time. So in order for Danielle to talk to Pauly, she would have to get clearance with the security guards. So he said, yes, you can bring her over to talk to me. So she didn't just sneak up on him. He said, yes, she can come over, and they had a conversation. So during this interaction, she gives Pauly the shirt. It's a shirt that says, I heart Jewish girls, but the heart is a Star of David, and in the Star of David is the Italian flag.
Me and Vinny are looking at each other like, holy.
Once I never gave you something.
I heart Jewish girls, oh my God.
I did the Star of David by myself.
Hell no, I ain't wearing that shirt.
This shirt is definitely crazy out of context, but Danielle says if you pay close attention to that episode, she's wearing a bracelet with the Italian flag colors. She says that Pauly made her that bracelet, and it says I heart Italian boys. Now, I've done some analyzing, and I think I found a scene where you can kind of see it. Now, mind you, the Jersey Shore was filmed in the 2010s-ish. The camera quality on the show is terrible, so it's hard to get a good shot. But here's where I think it is.
This is not straight. Call me. I'm not calling you.
Okay, go.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not even straight. You know what I'm saying? Like right here. You see what I'm saying?
I think she has some merit to what she's saying, but I can't confirm it. So you can take it for what you want. Do you think she's wearing a little Italian-looking flag? Now, if Pauly made it for her, I don't know, but there seems to be some credibility here. What do you think? Snuggie hangs out with that guy Keith, who's like, snooze fest, boring, moving on. Pauly gets home, and Danielle has been calling the house. And the boys are kind of fucking around with her. Now, she says it in edit, they made it look like she called a bunch. She says she only called a couple of times. I feel like after they're messing with you, Danielle, one time is too many. After that, get some self-respect.
Respect. RESPCT. Find out what it means to me.
But she also claims that Pauly had led her on, so she seemed like she was acting insane, but she had hung out with him for hours and he was kind of hounding her for sex the whole time. But regardless, they had hung out a whole bunch and none of that made it into the cut, obviously, because who has hours to watch Danielle and Pauly? But she said that their relationship was a little bit more in depth than the show made it out to be. The next day, all of the roommates are making fun of Danielle, and I think if Danielle's telling the truth and the roommates had seen Pauly hanging out with her, giving her things, and they are like crazy making her, and she kind of has a right to be upset a little bit for being led on. So I guess her unhinged behavior is a little bit understandable, but she calls the phone the next day to talk to Pauly, and she's not holding it together very well. But she's yelling at him, but Pauly gives it right back to her, and we do get one of the most iconic lines in the whole series.
So you stalked my whole life on the boardwalk, and then when I got home, I had every intention of calling you, but you had already called and you said you wasn't a call. So you stalked my whole life on the boardwalk. It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk. You stalked my whole entire life, right? And I don't like that. I'm talking now. You know how I felt about you. You just have no trust whatsoever. So you thought I was creeping with those chicks, which I wasn't. I went on Wood Ride. God bless me. It's summer.
Also, Sam is so annoying. When Pauly gets off the phone with her and she's sitting there like a mean girl, like,
Yeah, Pauly. Yeah.
shut up, Sammy.
Right to take shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Also, some tea. Danielle said that Sammy and Snooki were really fucking rude to her, because she does come back in a couple of seasons, and that she said that Jenny was very nice. I love that for Jenny. Like I said, Jenny's so problematic sometimes when it comes to guys, but she seems like a really good friend and a really sweet person when it comes to like girl power. And she said that Dina was just there when she met Dina. Dina wasn't mean or anything. She just was kind of there. But in the end, I think Pauly's right. I think Danielle was trying to settle down with Pauly, marry him, have some kids together, and Pauly is not the type of person he was, and maybe she misread some of his affection for being genuine because he was trying to get laid. Pauly, don't do that. Mike and Pauly also start the long-standing tradition of prank wars during this episode. They put some pickles under Snooki's bed, and they put some foul-smelling substances in a bowl under Vinny's bed. The gang goes bowling later that night, and Jenny and Mike make up. But later that night, back at the house, Vinny and Ronnie basically tell Mike they don't like him. And they're like, you've changed. It's been like 3 weeks. And Mike rightfully is like, you don't know me. How can you know anything about me if I've changed in 3 weeks? And he's like, I've been the same person this whole time. I think Mike's right. I think that Vinny and Ronnie are stupid. So the gang goes out to Karma that night to party, as they do. And as they're leaving, there's some locals harassing them and calling them bennies and telling them to go home, blah, 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 blah. So they're annoying the crew. The private security is able to shake them off. But one guy gets away and he's running back after them and yelling and being obnoxious. So Ronnie breaks free from the crowd, runs back. And then suddenly you see Ronnie coming back and the camera zooms in on this dude who is out cold. Ronnie just clocked him. Red flag, Ronnie. You can't be punching people.
Ron?
Anyway, yeah, Ronnie clocks him, lays him out on the ground, and one shot, bro. One shot, kid. That's one shot.
Got us, and that's when Ronnie just like ran.
Wait!
Ronnie!
Seriously, bro? That's one shot. That's one shot, kid. That's one shot.
Cops everywhere at Seaside during the nightlife because there's drunk idiots running around beating each other up. And so they immediately scoop Ron, and he's going to the sleaze side slammer. And that's where the episode ends. Will Ronnie get freed from jail? Will anybody like Mike? Does anybody like Mike? I like Mike. Let's find out next time on Jersey Shore. But until then, stay crazy, stay wild. Bye.